Hi Matt, hi John, good afternoon guys. Just seeing if a few of the other regulars are going to be popping in. Hopefully everyone is having a good afternoon and good evening for me, or maybe good morning where you are. Hey Devandra, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. So today, starting off with a review as always, 83 points and still somehow a red arrow. Unbelievable. But the key point today, guys, is I'm going to go through and I'm going to actually explain for things that I've said a lot on the stream recently about the plans and how I'm probably going to wildcard out of game week 29, so game week 30 wildcard, and why I actually think that that is the best strategy, even if perhaps you have a free hit. I've seen a lot of people wildcard, and the idea is to wildcard in 25, bench boost in 26, and then a lot of people will free hit in 29. But I'm going to explain, I'm going to give you my reasons why I think actually I still think playing your wildcard now might not be the best move, even if you have a free hit. All right, so we'll get into that later, get your opinions as well, because that was a traditional plan, right? It was supposed to be wildcard now in 25, bench boost in 26. Now I know we don't have the official fixtures, but Ben Crowley does a lot of work, and it does look like the color brown fixtures that he's done are nailed. Let's just take that as it is. Yes, they are, whatever. I'm still going to give you my reasons why I think playing a wildcard, even with a free hit, is not going to be the right thing. And it is a lot to do with fixtures, players that we have now and players that we actually want in the future. And I also see a lot of people wildcarding now with no free hit, and why I genuinely think that is not the best thing to do at all. Hey, Mr. A, how's it doing? And James, welcome back, buddy. Welcome back to you too. Thanks for coming in again. John, will we see double game week 26 confirmation before today's deadline? I think so, but what time? Honestly, don't know. A lot of people saying, oh, last time it happened, they gave us 6 days notice. And then the last time they gave us 10 days notice. And the Premier League don't give... I always try and keep it PC, right? They don't give a damn about Fantasy Premier League deadlines, right? So there is absolutely... There's history of them when they've revealed it. Obviously, they must have informed the clubs, because we've had comments from Guardiola. We've had comments from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after the Real Sociedad game yesterday. And we've had comments, I think, from Roy Hodgson about being threatened with an extra game, something like that. So the clubs must know. They'll probably release it soon. The thing is as well, with them releasing it this season, they don't have to rush because there's no fans to inform. Like usually in the past, you've got to let everyone know what the fixtures are because people have got to organise buying tickets, maybe doing hotels if it's a long distance away match. But because there's no pressure to inform fans who you want to pay money to watch your football team, there's no rush to tell. So, will the fixtures be told before the deadline? Genuinely don't... no idea, because there's no fans to worry about, and they're not going to release it just because of Fantasy Premier League. Hey, Alistair, welcome back, buddy. But also, that is another reason, John, that I'll talk about later, as to why I just think the wildcard has been a bad idea for this game week, because how long have you got left? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock my time. Less than 5 hours? And nothing's been confirmed? That's a dangerous game. All right, so a review. 83 points, -4, so 79. One of those players that I brought in from -4, if you remember, was Gundogan, who I gave the vice captaincy to. So, boo. Captain Fernandez. I still think that was the best decision. Gundogan playing one match in the end because of an injury, and he gets 2 goals and 1 assist against a supposedly top 4 chasing Tottenham Hotspur is just absolutely outrageous. Bruno still pulled through. He still did get a return, so I did agree with that completely. Gundogan comes in, gets 19 points. Just 79 points, and I'm about 780k, right? So I've got a small red arrow, but to get almost 80 points and still get a red arrow is absolutely nuts. And I said to you guys last week, the most scared player I was worried about not playing was Martinez. I play Areola. He gets me 8 points. He gets me a clean sheet. So fair play. He gets me a clean sheet and a 2-pointer. But Martinez with a 12-pointer in one game against Brighton is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. But I did say I was scared about doing that. Hey, Devendra, hold Rashford or buy Rafinha for a -4. I always say I don't mind hitting -4 for a double game week player. But Rashford has Newcastle at home, so you've got to ask yourself, is Rafinha going to make up and go beyond Rashford in one game against Newcastle compared to Rafinha in 2? Also, it depends on your situation. So Rashford's going to have a double game week next game week. Rafinha is not going to have a double game week. So you're going to go Rafinha back to Rashford, you're holding your wild card, it's your team dependent. Hey, Business Cat, less than 7 hours till deadline. Yeah, I've already made my transfers, and I'll be showing you guys. I've already taken another -4. Brought in Rafinha, maybe going for a hit with DCL for Ings. Now, I did say this last week, I'll say the last few weeks as well. The reason why I've still got 3 Aston Villa players and 2 Everton players is they have to make up the games. They're 2 games behind everybody else. So the Everton's already had 1 double game week. Granted, Calvert-Lewin didn't play, boo-hoo, but they still have other games to make up. So to take out Calvert-Lewin for a hit, yes, Ings has got a double game week now. He might have another in the future. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of that. I'm not a fan of Southampton right now. I think they're looking a bit shaky. Got Dallas, Target, Stones, and Cancelo. Who's a good 5th defender? Dunk or White, I think, at Brighton. So 2 players that I've been looking to bring in because I'm not... because of game week 29, they have a game if you're not going to do a free hit or wild card before that. So I think a Brighton defender would be a really great one. And I think, is it Crystal Palace this week and West Brom next week? So even though they don't have a double game week, they do play West Bromwich Albion in that game week. So it's not the worst. Yes, 6:30 p.m. for you. It's 12:30 a.m. for me. 10, 11, 12, 1, or maybe 1:30 a.m. maybe. Avoid Vestergaard. Yeah, random junkie. I would be avoiding. I'm still avoiding Southampton, to be honest. You're not sure if Cancelo plays any game week because Pep Roulette, right? You just never know. The game week was decided by Gundogan captain or not, and Lowton or not, and I didn't captain. Or I didn't have Lowton, and I didn't captain Gundogan. And I know I sat here last week, and I said he is sat there as my vice captain. I said my last decision was Bruno or Gundogan. I'm not disappointed with my decision to pick Bruno Fernandes. He's the best player away from home. He's in great form. It doesn't matter if United are terrible. He still ends up getting things. He's on penalties. You know, he's against bottom of the table who are looking woeful. And then you got Gundogan against Tottenham Hotspur, who are supposed to be like trying to get to City's level, a European football team chasing side, and he goes and gets 2 goals and assists. It's absolutely nuts. He was thinking Ings, but he couldn't do 3 double game weeks, you think. Also, John, about Southampton players, they've got Chelsea for one of the 2 games. I don't think that's particularly appealing. Hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy? Ben Crowley updated the spreadsheet last night based off the Pep comments. You're on your wild card. You really need to know whether Southampton get the game week 26 fixtures, double game 25 and 27 will go third. Hey, Amber, how you doing, buddy? Business cat, yeah, and again, I am going to explain earlier why I think playing any wild card or bench boost or anything right now is not the right thing to do. And I said right at the start that just what you're doing right now, you're on a wild card. There's a few hours left to go till deadline, and you've got no idea who's got double game weeks and when. 92 points last week. Nice. You've dropped Alzate and Justin for Rafinha and Dallas. Yep, you're joining me on that. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? No worries. Just doing a quick review. City, Cancelo getting 8, Stones getting 6. Luca Dean gets 1 point against Fulham and 4 points against Manchester City. So, okay. Kufal got the clean sheet, which I thought he was going to get. Son blanks, Grealish blanks. 2 big players, 2 high-owned players, and 2 players that have just not been up to scratch in recent weeks. Salah and Bruno doing the business. Watkins with the blank. Calvert-Lewin, we had a feeling he wasn't going to play, so he's on the bench. Dallas at a -1, so luckily all of my players did play. But like I said earlier, Martinez was the guy I was most scared about benching. And he's sat there with 12 points on my bench. Hey, Mr. Jolly. How you doing, buddy? For a -4. I've done a -4 again this game week. KDB for Gunner 1. That's a big jump up, Mr. Jolly. I can't not suggest like a Leeds player. I just can't. Like a double game week, I can't sit here and say, you know, Gunner 1 to Rafinha. All right, I've made that move. I'm going to show you my team in a minute. Wildcard is Schmeichel, Martinez, Target, Cancelo, Stones, Davis. Is that Davis as in from Spurs Davis? Dallas, Bruno, Salah, Gundogan, San, Rafinha, Kane, Watkins, Batford. It's solid, but I will explain why I think doing any wildcards now is not the right... It's not my move anyway. It might work out for you. Captain Rafinha or Bamford? Andrew, that's the question I'm asking myself right now. You have an idea it's whether Ings and McCarthy are viable. McCarthy, no. I don't even think he gets clean sheets anymore. Amach, hello, first time over here. Hope you're not too late. Nobody, we're just doing a quick review. What are my transfers? I'm going to show you in a minute, Krista. You had no intention to wildcard last week, but 10 minutes ago, I thought that Antonio, DCL, another Deadwood would cost too many hits. Got double game week players in, 98 points, and you owe myself the hits. Yeah, I have always said that as well, James. Like, if I've had a good game week, I kind of feel like I'm all right to take hits. Do you know what I mean? And look, I took a -4 last week. Gundogan got 19 points. I mean, I think he's paid it back, and he's also left my side again. This week I'm going to go starting 1 of Cancelo or Stones. They are away to Arsenal, and Stones is more likely to start. Ooh, be careful with that game, Sean. That's edging your bets on Pep Roulette there, buddy. No one wins. You don't have the wildcard, but if I did, I'd definitely use it after the blanket 29, which is what I'm going to do. Davis from Spurs is the only Spurs you can afford. And the problem with that, random, is I've done, if I show you my paper here, guys. So I've already said that my plan is to wildcard in game week 30 for the last 8 games of the season, plus hit a double game week, give or take, right? And I was going to bench boost in 26, but I'm possibly or probably not going to even do that now and just go out there with 11 double game week players. So you can see I've been making some notes here. This is this side. This is what I've got now. These were the game weeks. I was writing down when I would do it. On the other side, I had like plan A, plan B, how many points it cost me, things like that. Davis was in my consideration for the same reason I couldn't afford Dyer because he's cheaper, right? But here's the thing as well. When I had a look at all the defenders from Spurs, Dyer got dropped for a couple of games. Davis is in right now, but Reguilon might be coming back. So you're doing your wildcard now in game week 25 in hopes for the double game week 26 and for that single game week in 29, which is obviously 4 game weeks away from now, which is like a month away. And Mr. A, you've just said about Reguilon. I've just seen that right now. So that is another reason, again, why I'm playing the wildcard now. And if you don't even have a free hit in 29, that is the danger. So yeah, Davis is playing right now. He looks solid at left centre-back / left-back. But that is now, not a month from now when Reguilon is supposed to be back. Bamford captain, no-brainer for you, Sean. No-brainer. Oh, see if I can change your mind later on. Reguilon is reported as not being back in the squad this weekend, but is training. No to Ben Davies nailed. Yeah, I'm not saying he's not nailed right now, but I'm going to say that he's not necessarily nailed in the next week, in the next 2 weeks. And you talk about Jose Mourinho, you're talking about a guy that Harry Kane was supposed to be out for months, and then desperation, he throws him back in. Madja or Bobby Reed? I'd go Madja. You did a minus. Reguilon scores retired. I did a -4 this week. Took Antonio out for Ings. Do you think it was a good move? Took Antonio out for Ings. Yeah, because Antonio he might not even play yet, and Ings has a double game week. Hey, hola, por favore, undershot, welcome back, buddy. Depends who Kane is playing, but you might triple captain him. Yep, that's a good move, I think, Sean. If I had a triple captain chip or a bench boost still left, I would be hitting the triple captain over the bench boost. Captain Bamford or Rafinha, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, Dylan. Yeah, that's why I was thinking to change to a Brian defender. Yep, and I said Dunk if you can afford him, but you said you can only afford Davis. Oh, no, sorry, it was... Yeah, you said Brian defender, so you can get Ben White in there. Loris, the only safe one for Spurs defense. I agree. Keep Gundogan or Sterling to get Rafinha. Gundogan, now... Look, I keep saying it, Pep Roulette, you don't know who's going to play. European football is just around the corner. I'm honestly, when I wildcard in 29 or 30, it's very, very likely that I'm only going to have one or two players. The player that I said weeks and weeks ago, who I'm probably going to get on my wildcard in game week 30, is actually going to be Edison. Because Cancelo, how many times are we going to sit here and say, oh, he's got potential. Oh, he's magnificent. Oh, he's going to get that haul. Yeah, he's had like one haul this season. He's got like, 1 goal and 2 assists? Oh, I might as well just have Edison, who plays every single game and gets me like 6 points. Then going, oh, Cancelo, oh, Cancelo, oh, Cancelo, oh, Cancelo. And then he's benched. You feel Diagne is a great differential? Yes, because he's a West Bromwich Albion striker, Matt. Speculation that Forster might start over McCarthy. Wouldn't be surprised. Hey, Sadanshu, welcome back. You got a big 118 points this week. Oh, you played your bench boost. Nice. Excellent. It felt like a good week to play your bench boost. Unless you had Dallas. You've been using live FPL transfer planner. I tried to use that myself, Sean. And I'm sorted all the way till game week 30 if things go, yep, good. Isn't Martinez a better option than Lloris? Yes, for now. Next week you're playing dropping Salah and Antonio for Kane and Suchek. Salah will probably go out for in game week 29 to help me get Kane in for that week. But look, he's got Sheffield United in a double game week coming up. And then he's got Fulham, which granted isn't an easy game right now because Fulham's defense is a lot better. But to take out Salah, braver than I am, really brave. And for Harry Kane as well. Harry Kane is fantastic, don't get me wrong. It's Spurs. I mean, technically Liverpool are like a mid-table team form right now this year. But you get my point. Cool kids are getting Edison in now ahead of the doubles. So, yeah, if you're in your wild card, I genuinely be just getting Edison. I was contemplating getting Edison actually within the next 2 game weeks because Man City need to make up some games too. Minamino has looked sharp for Saints since he joined. He has a double and he's only 6 million. Is he worth a punt? Yes, Mr. Jolly. I genuinely think he is. I looked at him myself. But unfortunately, because I'm not playing any chips or anything, I can't keep bringing in players that don't have a match in game week 29. Hey Rudy, how you doing, buddy? Short day at work today. Nice to chill on the train home with me. But your question is, have Grealish, Bruno, Salah, Rafinha, and Gundogan, Kane, Bamford, and Ings. You have to bench one of them. Bench Gundogan because he's missed out an injury. I don't think he's going to play. Rafinha's got a double game week. Salah's got the derby against Everton. Bruno's got Newcastle at home. Ooh. Bamford's got a double game week. Ings has got a double game week. Kane has got, is it West Ham this week? It's Gundogan or Grealish for me. Grealish has got Leicester. Leicester's just played in Europe and they played a pretty strong team, so they might be a little bit tired. Gundogan's got an injury. He's away to Arsenal. I know it's horrible. I know it's tough, but gun to my head, I'd probably say Gundogan because of his injury. That's the only issue. Dropping Salah, he can just drop a hat-trick out of nowhere. Yes, tell me about it, because if you remember correctly, I didn't have Salah until like game week 15. He absolutely destroyed me at the start of this season. Absolutely just nailed me. Going to wildcard in 26 as I had planned, thank God. 26 is a weird one to... You're going to wildcard in 26? That's different. Edison safe and he will step up to take a penalty. Unless, what was it, Bernardo Silva who stopped him to take a penalty, right? Bench Grealish. Yeah, it's Grealish or Gundogan. Kane was putting West Ham to the sword. Hey, Luke, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm not saying Kane's not a bad option, but I think I'm going to wait on it. It's fine. What do you think about Chelsea defensive player get Chilwell after 29? Chilwell? You talk about Alonso's the man of the moment. All right, so I'll let you guys know my transfers. I did take another -4. Bamford is in for Brewster. I don't think that anyone is going to be against that move. And Rafinha in for Gundogan. Not just because of Gundogan's injury, but double game week's coming up. It's the same thing I said about the last double game week with Manchester City. I just don't think they're going to play both. Now, granted, Gundogan didn't play both because he got injured, but we just had it with Diaz, right? Diaz didn't play the first game, he played the second. Stones, he played the first game, he didn't play the second. Cancelo, I think ended up doing both. Cancelo played both, but that's because he's versatile, right? So I have taken a -4. So 1, it's a double game week. 2, I'm going to captain one of them because it's a double game week. And 3, I'm not particularly happy about having triple leads. Dallas is one that I wouldn't have if I had a choice right now, but I've already said I'm not doing any chips or anything. So game week 29, I've got 3 lads in my side from Leeds who hopefully should be playing. Now, going on to why I'm not going to bench boost in 26. So game week 26 is next game week. With the players that I have now, Kufal will go out for double game week player, and I'll have, I think, 11 double game week players, which means Dallas, Rafinha, and Bamford will be on my bench against Aston Villa next week, which is why I'm thinking of not bench boosting. This isn't just because a lot of people bench boost for some reason Leeds players against Brighton when they got beat by Brighton. Now, if you guys remember, and I think off the top of my head I'm correct, Leeds beat Aston Villa 3-0. I think it was at Villa. So let's see if I'm correct. Aston Villa, away from home, they beat them 3-0. So that is obviously playing on my mind about, well, I've got 11 players playing who have a double game week. And then I've got Areola, who has a double game week, goalkeeper. And 3 Leeds at home to Aston Villa. Should I bench boost that? That's my decision to make. But the other decision, which is what all this paper was about, was I think next week a plan that I had was to take out Kufal for a Fulham defender if they've got a double game week, because they have a double game week and they're playing game week 29. But it was also to take out Dallas, who has a single game week, for a Brighton defender like Ben White, because he doesn't have a double game week. Neither does Dallas. They both play in game week 29. It means I don't have triple leads, which I'm happy about. And also in the single game week, Dallas is at home to Aston Villa and White is against West Brom. So the moves I've made, Rafinha and Bamford in, Gundogan and Brewster out. Yeah, Martinez and Areola, goalkeepers. I mean, Areola's against Sheffield United at home. And Fulham have done fantastically. I'm just looking at Martinez. I'm just thinking, I can't have him hurt me like this again. I hated benching him against a double game week Areola last week. So I'm not a fan of that. I've got a really good squad. You can see on my bench, I've got Watkins, Luka Dean, and Kufal. It's a really, really tough one right here. Cancelo and Stones, I don't know if they're both going to play, so that means Luka Dean's going to come off the bench against Liverpool. All right, I'm fine with that. Dallas with a double game week. Salah at home to Everton, who concede goals, and it's a derby. Fernandes at home to Newcastle. That's a good fixture. Rafinha, double game week. Son against West Ham. Grealish has got Leicester. Calvert-Lewin, I'm going to wait for a press conference, though, about that Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because if it's not looking like he's definitely back, I'm probably going to play Watkins. But I might as well just leave it, because if Calvert-Lewin is out, he's not going to come on as a sub, I don't think. And then Bamford with a double game week. So I'll catch up with the chat, and then we'll talk about captaincy. So let me just scroll up. It's very weird, but it's worked out so far. 118 points. What more do you ask for? Yeah, 118 points is mental. Avoid Chilwell. I agree. Pope on Martinez, because we've got games to make up. The double game week features are expected to be released before today's deadline. You're going Pope. Yeah, Andrew, again, I talked about this because the first question was from John today, and he asked about the double game week fixtures. The Premier League don't care about FPL, so I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for fixtures today. It could, or it'll come out, knowing the Premier League, it'll come out like 3 minutes after deadline. You sure Martinez will concede? Yeah, that is a decision I'm going to sit on. I do want to take the punt. At home to Sheffield United, if we look at Fulham as well, Fulham's history, 1-1 against Burnley, didn't concede against Everton, didn't concede against West Ham, conceded 2 against Leicester, 2 against... I don't know, I look at Martinez and I'm just petrified about subbing him again. Diaz was ill for the first game. That wasn't rotation per se, but Stones, Laporte are now a rotation pair. Yep. And that's why I think it's probably best to have Cancelo, Ederson, and then Gundogan or Kevin De Bruyne or Raheem Sterling, something like that. I'm thinking of Kane plus 2 bench fodders. Who are the cheapest bench fodders? Bench fodder. What positions though, Krista? Yeah, maybe, but I was planning dropping Maguire for a Chelsea defender, so moving to Shaw would be a bit sideways. Maguire to Shaw. Here's the thing about when people say sideways, though. It just depends on the player. Like, look at Rafinha, for example, right? Rafinha hasn't blanked in like 6 games. Is it 6 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 games he's not blanked. Now, I'm not saying he's going to get a return in the double game week. But if you had Harrison or Click like 1 or 2 game weeks ago, right? And you're like, do I go to Rafinha? It feels sideways. No, if that's the player that's getting the points, it doesn't matter, right? If there's something that's drawing your attention to that player, I don't think it's classed as a sideways move. Now, something like Salah to Mane, I think that, yeah, I can see why you would say that is a sideways move because they're both explosive. They can both get big points returned. But for me, there's no doubt about Luke Shaw right now is a much better FPL asset than Harry Maguire. So I do understand what you mean. It's sideways. They both play the same position, defender to defender, right? You're not going defender to midfielder. They both play for Manchester United. Why am I going to go from Maguire to Shaw? Now, would I do it for a hit? No. But I don't think that's sideways. Go for Rudiger or Thiago Silva. Yeah, Rudiger seems nailed at Chelsea right now. But I'll get onto the whole wildcard points a little bit later. Bench boost is a very irritating chip. Yes, it is. You just got rid of it in 24, so you don't have to worry about it. And it helped you get a massive score. Potentially more security. Yep. Maguire won't get clean sheets and Man United wins headers, but doesn't keep them on target. Yes. That's why he calls slabhead. Same dilemma as me. Going to play Areola this game week. I'm not against. I just hate the idea of benching Martinez. You're looking at bringing in Sanchez and Dunk for 29 at some point in the next few weeks. Yeah, I'll probably be getting Dunk or White. But the problem, on my paper, in a couple of weeks when City have United, it's going to be like Stones out, Dunk in, I think it's going to be. It's nice actually having a team to dead end into a week and then just wild card away, because then it doesn't feel like you're wasting your wild card. Sometimes, so the people who are wild carding now, right? So I will just do a bit of chat about why I'm against a wild card now. A lot of them are transferring into players and they're not making many transfers. Now for me, if I'm using a wild card, I'll keep a certain spine. So I'll keep Salah, Fernandes, Cancelo, Martinez, something like that, right? Keep 3 or 4 players. They've been doing well. You don't want to give them up. But I've seen some people who are doing wildcard where it's like, if they just saved a transfer and had 2 free transfers and took a -8 for 4, they'd probably do it. They don't even need a wildcard. So again, that's another point against wildcards. I'll do that after I catch up with this. I thought I was going to do captaincy, but everyone's chatting, so I just want to keep chatting. Looking at bringing this out, yeah. Hey, Denver, welcome back, buddy. Grealish out for Rafinha this week. Now, Grealish going out. Grealish is not doing very well. Aston Villa not looking great in attack, but I keep stressing this, guys. Everton and Aston Villa have games to make up. Double game weeks. Now, I know it's not attractive. I know it's not great, but taking out players that A, have double game weeks, and B, playing game week 29 if you don't have a free hit, just feels like a mistake. Bringing in Barnes this week for Rafinha, Cresswell for Dunk. Wait, Cresswell for Dunk or to Dunk? for Dunk to do Antonio to Kane. I like Antonio to Kane. So you must be Cresswell to Dunk, I think is a good move. A -8. Okay. -8, but if you're going to bench boost to cover it, maybe that's all right, Denver. Timo Werner to come in at some point? No way. I had him for the first 10 game weeks of this season. No. I hope news doesn't come out till after deadline. Yeah, that would be mean. You saw Martinez and made peace with it. Yeah, I mean, if I don't have Martinez, then I'm not going to be upset about it. But to have him on my bench, that would just be horrible. El Hamadi in soon to cover the defense of who? Aston Villa? Might be another Lowton or Aina. Any thoughts? The forgotten Egyptian king. I don't think has he been playing? He's not been playing. No, he played 29 minutes against Brighton, and then he got 4 minutes in game week 15. He got 90 minutes in game week 30. No way. You're not bringing in Al Hamidi. I can't say his name properly, but I know who he is. Yeah, the penalty comes out 20 minutes before the deadline. Yep. You're playing Pope over Martinez. Surely can't get... That's a dangerous game. Never say a player can't get points for no reason. Keeping your wild card for 30-31. Me too. McCarthy on Martinez. Martinez 100%. I'm saving for your free hit for a double game week in the future. Might be the wrong move, but we'll see. Sean, I'm going to change your mind in a second, hopefully. Hey, Harry, welcome. Play me or McNeil against West Brom. No subs, so got to play one. Ooh. I say McNeil. The mistakes I've had before, Harry, is when I've tried to be too cute, too clever, and be like, oh, well, I'll play the defender, go for the clean sheet, and I'll bench the striker. I still remember I did it for Timo Pukki against Man City, when Man City was supposed to smash them like 10-0, right? Because Norwich had no defenders. Always going to play the attacker. Always. Matty Cash is injured. Elmo comes in for him for a while, probably. True, but I wouldn't bring him in for that. Bringing in a player that's got a very limited lifespan is not something that I want to do. All right, so let's have a quick chat about captaincy. It's sat on Rafinha. Now, here's the thing. Bruno Fernandes is going to have an effective ownership over 100, which means possibly, right? It's not obviously set in stone, which means... If Bruno Fernandes is not your captain this game week, his points are probably not going to do anything for you. If anything, it could work against you. Now, if you don't have Bruno Fernandes at all, that means his scoring is going to cripple you. But if you've got Bruno Fernandes and he gets points, it might be like 1 point against you. Bamford is going to probably be the same. Bamford is going to have an effective ownership over 100. Most people, so that means the captaincy goes over 100. So if he gets any points and he's not your captain, it probably is not going to work for you. I think those are the two best captaincy options, and I don't think that it's even up for debate. With Rafinha. So Rafinha, Bamford, and Fernandes. I've got it on Rafinha right now just because the upside, guys, is huge. 7.4% owned. If he can outscore Bamford, like let's say Bamford gets 10 points, Bruno gets 7 points. If Rafinha can get higher than that, you're on to a winner, right? He's less than 8% owned. He's not blanked in 5 game weeks. He's a midfielder. I always prefer captaining midfielders because they get clean sheet points. They get extra points for goals. I just like captaining midfielders more than strikers. Bamford is on penalties. His effective ownership is over 100. That is the worry. It's the same for Bruno. And again, even though last week I captained Bruno over a double game week player, that's my team. That's my decision. That's me taking a punt, going a different direction. For me to give advice and suggestions, I can't not suggest a double game week player. It's difficult to not suggest a player who is in good form, like Bamford and Rafinha are, who have 2 good games. I can't not suggest that as a captaincy option. So Bruno's going to be my vice because I don't like to captain and vice captain for the same team because anything can happen, right? Like a COVID outbreak, for example. But Rafinha against Bamford, if I'm feeling brave, it's Rafinha because the upside is higher. But if I just stick it on Bamford, I can be really happy when Bamford scores and gets points. And if Rafinha gets any points, I can be really happy and delighted when Rafinha gets some points. And be happy for both things. But if I go for Rafinha over Bamford, Bamford gets a goal, I'm pretty happy. He's still my player. This is good. Well done. Rafinha goes and gets 2 goals. Well, rank skyrocket. It's the bet. It's the punt, right? So for captaincy, Bruno is number 3. I would probably say Rafinha is number 2 and Bamford is number 1. And Bamford is number 1 because of effective ownership, just like Bruno. He's got a double game week. So last time I went for the single game week over the double game week. I even said on stream, I can't say Gundogan is not a good option. He's a great captaincy option. I would suggest captaining a double game week player, but I explained the reasons why I personally went for Bruno Fernandes. It didn't work out. But in this situation, this time, I know I went for the single game week over the double. But again, if you remember, guys, last week, my exact point as to why I said Bruno Fernandes over Gundogan, I said if it was any other team except West Bromwich Albion, Gundogan would have been my captain. You could go back. I can go back and check my stream from last week and said, I have to recommend a double game week captaincy, but Bruno Fernandes, best player away from home against the worst team in the Premier League, I had to captain personally Bruno Fernandes, but I did suggest a double game week player. I'm in the same situation here. Newcastle, if you captain Bruno Fernandes, I do think that is a good choice. I do think that is a sensible play. You're protecting against high ownership. He's at home against quite a poor team, let's be honest. Newcastle are not exactly, setting any blazing fires anytime soon. But double game week captaincy for a team that likes to attack. They're unpredictable. They're exciting. Yeah, that's what I have to say. We'll just catch up. You agree, McNeil less than 1%. So that's a big upswing as well. Here's the right back, Matt Cash out injured. Funny fact, Villa didn't concede 150 minutes on the pitch. Wow. Time to get Elmo. Bruno, your captain. People trying to sway you to Bamford, Rafinha, and Ings. Now, just a quick, let me just backtrack a bit about the captaincy. So you can see I said Rafinha, Bamford, 1 and 2, Bruno, number 3. You might be asking why no Southampton players. I said it earlier, one of the games is against Chelsea. Ings would probably be my number 4 choice. I think that would be a good choice as well. Southampton could probably get 1 or 2 goals against Leeds, maybe even more, because Leeds are just so unpredictable. Every time when you say, oh, give me score predictions, and it's Leeds, oh, God, 0-0, 5-5, 6-0 Leeds, 7-0 defeat Leeds. Like, you don't know with Leeds. But you know with Chelsea, and that is not going to be an easy double game week. I would have Fernandes in front of Ings for me. You reckon Rafinha will get a rest for one of them for Rodrigo? Is he back yet, Dylan, though? You've got Rafinha, but you're going to go Bamford. The thing is, John, I think I will end up with the Bamford captaincy. The upswing for Rafinha is massive. It is. And it's exciting. It's wonderful. But if I just captain Bamford, I'll be delighted when Bamford scores and when Rafinha scores. I don't want to watch Leeds, right? And it's a penalty and Bamford steps up and he scores. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I've got Bamford. That's quite nice. I mean, he's scored points against me. And I don't want that, I think, for my team. So I'm probably going to go for Bamford just because I can be happy when both of them do something. And if both of them do something, if Bamford and Rafinha gets 2 goals each, great. I'll be happy for both of them. Rather than if Bamford gets something and Rafinha doesn't, and I've captained Rafinha, that's going to be a killer. But if Bamford blanks and Rafinha hauls, I'm still going to get a very nice rank rise because he's less than 8% owned. Feeling like the way you explain captaincy, I just feel I should always jump ships with me and go with Raf. Yeah, don't, because I'm probably going to go for Bamford. Like it, Rob. looking more on the upside and take Rafinha as well. Great rank boost if he does. And that is it. It's like gambling, guys, isn't it? It's like, do you take the bet on Rafinha? And if he outscores everyone else, if he has a blinding game week, if you're looking at that and he has a Gundogan double game week, right? He's knocked 40, 50, 60 points as your captain. You're just skipping around all week, right? But if Bamford outscores him, your ranks... Ignore the rest of your team for a minute. If it's just Bamford and Rafinha in your team that you're looking at, and Bamford outscores Rafinha, your rank's going down. Because is he 60% owned now? Has it gone up again? 50, just shy of 57% owned. It's high. It's high. It's the gamble. Do you play it safe? That's why people are saying like last week, it's boring to put the captaincy on Bamford. I don't think so, because I can watch both Leeds games and think, oh great, I hope everyone on Leeds does very, very well, rather than, oh, I hope Bamford does quite well, but I hope Rafinha is better. It's difficult. Last time that happened, Salah blanked as our triple captain. Yes, this is true. In a double game week, Salah blanked. Incredible. Good luck, go Rafinha. I'm just thinking as well, I'm 770k. Just take the punt. Have a go. Like, if I sit here at the end of the season, I'm like 500k. Good job, I captain Bamford. Right? Or I'm sat here at 700k and I captain Rafinha. You know, you don't gamble, you don't win. Sean's not feeling brave. You're going to stick with Bamford. It does pain me that Bruno's scoring takes away. Yes, it is annoying. What's Bruno's ownership now? 60%. So, you know, the only thing that there's no winning this week if you don't captain Bruno or Bamford, basically. 60% owned, and what was it, 57% owned. It's a killer, guys. It's an absolute killer, because you can't captain both of them, right? And if you don't, if I captain Rafinha and Bruno hauls and Bamford hauls, I have them in my team, and I will still lose it. I'll still lose points. It's ridiculous. Let me just catch up here. Jorginho to Rafinha for a -4. Yeah, why not? I'd do that. Obviously can't complain with 19 points, but would have loved to have done good played twice. True. Actually, I was fine with it because of captaincy. Lingard to Rafinha, done. Ings captain. He's my 4th choice, Luke. Looking to the 4 premiums, Salah, Kane, KDB, Bruno, or would you get rid of one of the premiums? I'd get rid of KDB. Hey, Kiva. Welcome back. Getting some advice so you can try and get me above me in the mini league, Kiefer. I know your game. Leeds so unpredictable. Southampton are prone to 9-0 loss. That sounds like a perfect combination. That's why I got 3 Leeds players in. What part of the world am I in? I am currently in Taiwan. Will hurt your rank more if you don't captain Bruno or Bamford, seeing that you're on Bruno. Well, we just talked about that, Denver, with Bruno being 60% owned and Bamford being 57% owned. They're incredibly close together. But of the 60%, it depends how many people are going to captain Bruno or Bamford. Now, I think FPL, like, I don't want to say geeks, enthusiasts, that's what we are. FPL enthusiasts. We will probably go for Bamford, because in our heads, we'll be like, you know, non-XG, look at the stats, he's got a double game week. FPL casuals are going to say, Bruno good, Bruno score, Bruno captain. Right? So, what's going to hurt your rank more? I don't know. Because there's a small, dedicated FPL following that's probably going to go for Bamford, because double game week, good form. But there's 7.58 million players of FPL, most of whom are just going to say Bruno good, Bruno score, Bruno captain. So probably both will hurt your rank if you don't captain one of them. Rafinha ownership sounds great, but you just took out Gundogan for him, and Gundogan is much higher owned, and if Gundogan hauls, it just completely cancels your Rafinha argument, doesn't it? Well, if Gundogan hauls, I don't even think Gundogan's going to play against Arsenal. That's my point. Start McCarthy or Martinez, Rob? I've got to say Martinez. I know McCarthy's got a double game week. I've just played the Fulham keeper instead of McCarthy. Instead of Martinez. Now Devendra, I've got to say, start McCarthy. He's got a double game week, but Martinez, just be careful because he'll break your little heart. But yeah, Sean, just going back to the Rafinha ownership sounds great. Took out Gundogan on my own. Just yeah, I should have gone for Gundogan last week, but that's a different Sean, right? I'm trying to be braver now. I'd go for it with your rank. I'm in a similar position and going for it for Rafinha. All right, putting your big boy pants on this weekend. Bamford captain and then something different. Marger up top. And he's going to have a double game week, Kiefer, and he's going to play in game week 29. And I already know you've wasted your wild card and your free hit, so you're going to be in a desperate situation. Putting your big boy pants on and captaining Bamford. We've literally just spent the last 10 minutes explaining why that is just like the comfort pick. You'll gamble, stuck at 60k, need to get back to 25k. Let's just do it. Let's go Rafinha, guys. Harrison a good lead option as well. He is. Afternoon, how's it going, Anson? And welcome back, buddy. I'm not doing too badly. Rafinha captain as well. FPL casual sounds like cavemen. But cavemen are absolutely killing it this year. Think of the start of the season, right? With some of the captaincy and choices that they've made. And they've just outdone people who did all the stats. You fear not having Dallas this game week. Good. I hope so, John, because he's in my team. After Liverpool, Everton look to have some possible good doubles. Which Everton, if any players, would you recommend? James, I've got 2 sat in my team. Luca Dean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. No more, no less. All right, Sean, take it easy, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Let's hope for a Bamford hat-trick twice. Let's not. Let's hope for a Rafinha hat-trick and a Bamford brace. That would be great, wouldn't it? Hey, welcome back again, Sudhanshu. You were here earlier. First week in ages, been back in the top million. It's been a slow season. It has, and that's why I'm just thinking, let's have some excitement. Let's go for Rafinha. Let's do it. All right, so I did explain earlier why I believe that playing a wildcard right now is not the right option, even if you have a free hit. I have touched on some points earlier. For example, we don't know the double game week fixtures yet. They haven't been released. I've also mentioned about... What was the other mention point? I'll just start from scratch so and explain why playing a wild card, even if you have a free hit for game week 29. Simple. If I asked you now, how many players from Wolves have you got in your team right now? You'll probably tell me 0 at a push 1. Liverpool, you've probably just got Mo Salah. Chelsea, you might have a defender, but since, you know, Lampard's left and he's being replaced, we still don't know what teams are nailed. West Ham, at the minute, the run of fixtures that they're about to go on, if I just get a West Ham player, West Ham are about to play Spurs, City, Leeds, United, Arsenal in the next 5. So if you're wildcarding, how many West Ham players are you going to keep? And they don't play in game week 29. Oh, sorry, they do play in game week 29, but they don't have a double game week, right? How many West Ham players are you going to keep in your side? Probably not many. Those teams that I've just talked about, if you wildcard them in game week 30, you're probably going to have a player from all of those teams. Because if you look at the fixtures from 30 to 38, not only after game week 29, the blank's done, but the fixtures turn for a lot of teams of players that we don't have. If you wildcard now, you're not really going to bring in Wolves players. You're not going to bring in Liverpool players. You're not going to bring in Arsenal players. Maybe you're going to bring in one Chelsea player, but they don't play in game week 29. Neither do Liverpool, neither do Wolves, neither do Arsenal. West Ham, very difficult next 5 fixtures. Are you going to bring any of those in? If you're wildcarding right now, no, you'll probably take out Kufal. You're taking out Antonio because he's not fit. You're probably going from Souček to Rafinha right now, if you have that option to do so, if you don't already have Rafinha. All the other reasons I've mentioned before, in the past, I'd say wildcard 25, bench boost 26, and I've already mentioned it earlier, we don't even know the fixtures yet. We don't know what's going to happen in game week 27, 8, and 9. So people wildcarding now, let's say it's unlikely on Ben Crellin's chart that Spurs will have another double game week between 27 and 29. But it's not impossible until those fixtures are out. Right? Everton, Villa, Southampton, they are teams that could have double game weeks. So Southampton, game week 25, they could have 26, 27 double game weeks. They could. It is theoretically possible. So I just feel like people wildcarding now without knowing what all the fixtures are, and if you have a free hit left in your back pocket and you're wildcarding now, I don't know how you're going to put out 11 players in game week 29 and play your bench boost in game week 26, because that's why you're wildcarding in 25. Also, we've still got 13 games left. 13 matches, 13 game week. Remember, the wild card is that get out of jail free emergency card, or the card that you want to use to really attack something. If you've used that now with 13 games left to go, if there's a COVID outbreak, when the fixture swings turn from game week 30, because there is a big swing as well, it just feels like just for the bench boost. If you ask how many people now are wildcarding just because of the bench boost, just because of that, most of them are doing that because they want for one game week to have 15 or 14 players who are playing twice. But out of those players, how many times has a bench boost really paid out? How many times has it really done it? Probably not many. So people are wildcarding now, and not only they're wildcarding for a bench boost, but in their team, they're going to wildcard a full 15 decent players so they can bench boost it, right? That means after they've used their bench boost in 26 and they've got 15 players and the money's all spread around 15, they're stuck. If you wildcard in game week 30, so you look at my squad now, my money is spread everywhere, right? I have a full 15 playing squad because I've got a double game week to get to, and I've got game week 29 where I don't want to use any of my chips, right? So I've got 15 players spreading money. If you're wildcarding now, you need to keep those 15 players. When I wildcard in game week 30, I'm not going to have that bench. You know, Kufal will go down to like a 3.8 million player, and I'll have 2 good bench players. So people who are wildcarding now are going to be stuck with 15 playing players and no wildcard to get out of it. And the wildcarding now, just looking at this is the double game week 26, this is 29, I need to make sure I've got the players for that. But they've probably not looked at the fixtures from 30 to 38 and thought, wow, Wolves have got some good games. They'll be looking right now thinking, I want Villa and I want Everton. That's why I'm holding them right now. I want Villa, I want Everton. 5 players there because they're going to have a ton of games, double game weeks coming up. If you look at Villa, after game week 30, Fulham at home, Liverpool, City, West Brom is nice, Everton United, Palace is nice, Tottenham Chelsea. When game week 30 comes, probably all 3 Villa players are out on my side. 2 Leeds players will be out on my side. Probably both Everton players will be out of my side. But people are wildcarding now to actually bring in those players just for the double game week and just for the makeup games that they've got to do. So weeks and weeks ago, when we had ideas about what games were coming up, and I always said the best plan was probably going to be wildcard in 25, bench boost in 26, free hit in 29. But looking more closely at the fixtures that change in 30, the teams that have good double game weeks and makeup games now, like Everton and Villa, have really difficult runs after game week 30. And teams that we don't look at now, because they don't have beautiful double game weeks and they don't play in the blank in 29, teams like Wolves, for example, we're ignoring them. But then if you play a wildcard in 30, you can take out all the players that are good now and hopefully bring in all the players that are good for the last 8 games of the season. So that's why I think actually playing any chip as well. I've already said that I don't even think I have to take a hit, and I'll get 11 double game week players out, and I'll have 3 Leeds players sat on my bench. Now, if I bench boost that, which I might, I'm benching 3 single game week players. But here's the thing. after my wild card, my bench boost is going to be pointless because I'm not going to have a bench to boost. If that makes sense. After your second wild card, you shouldn't have... Look at my bench. Watkins, Luca Dean, Kufal, Areola. Fine, he's a 4.5 million goalkeeper, but that's probably 0.5 million too much. Most people will just have a 4 million nothing goalkeeper, right? Which is what everyone had before the double game weeks came. Watkins is on my bench, 6.5 million. This should be a 4.5 million player, right? Luca Dean on my bench, 6.1 million. Kufal on my bench, 4.7 million. So people are breaking up teams or using wildcard just to bench boost in game week 26. I'm probably going to bench boost in game week 26, but it's just probably going to be for 3 Leeds players, which burnt a lot of people when they did against Brighton. I understand that. But am I going to take a hit -4 for Dallas to bring in a double game week player? And then in game week 29, I'm going to have to bring someone else back in for a -4. So I'm really taking a -8 to make sure I, just for a bench boost, and just so I have 11 players in game week 29. It doesn't seem like it's the right thing. Now, after your wildcard, probably one of your defenders is like a 3.8 million defender, not a 4.7 or whatever Kufal is, right? And you won't have another time to bench boost it. So people are saying, I'm going to use my bench boost in the future after my wildcard. Then what are you doing on your second wildcard? Why are you having 15 players playable? So game week 26 is probably still the best time to play your bench boost. Because it should be, in my opinion, obviously everything is my own opinion, in my opinion, that should be the only time you have a squad capable of doing a bench boost. So if I do take a -4 and a bench boost 2 Fulham players and 2 Leeds players, all right, that's fine. Because after I use my wildcard, 2 of my players on my bench are probably not going to be players that play football. Like Forster and Brewster that we've had for so long, right? So that's a more in-depth discussion that I wanted to talk about today as to why I think wildcarding now, bench boosting 26 is probably still the right play, no matter what, because after you use your wildcard, you probably shouldn't have 15 full players that play all the time or are good enough to bench boost, right? If I'm sat here with Bamford and Rafinha and Dallas on my bench, that's a nice bench boost. But if you're sat there with a 4 million defender who does play but doesn't do anything, and a 4.5 million player who never does anything, plays centre defensive mid for West Brom or whatever, you're not going to be happy bench boosting that. So that's my opinion about that. Denver, hope fixtures get released soon. You may take a -16 today and write off against your bench boost in 26. Not ideal, but it's worked a lot. I've seen people take massive hits for double game weeks. Hey Chris, welcome back, buddy. Bit busy at work. No worries, mate. In the Norwegian version of fantasy, we have the chip 2 captains instead of a triple captain. I do like that. Still undecided whether to take out Bruno or Salah to get Kane next week. I would not do that. Keep both and swap Grealish instead for Rafinha. I would do that for this game week. You still have your free hit, didn't waste it. Interesting business cat. Saying wasted in 18. I didn't waste it because in game week 18, I had like 3 or 4 players and it would have got me like 20 points and my free hit got me about 50. And in game week 19, I had loads of double game week players. And I got a really good score. Bench boost doesn't seem so good next week, seeing as you'll likely have single game week players, but mind you, 2 are Rafinha or Bamford, and that's my point, Chris. So I think bench boosting a player like Rafinha or a player like Bamford or even Dallas isn't terrible. Wildcard 30 or 31 is a certain. Yes, for me too. Bench boost is a trap. I agree. You seem to have the same plans as you, Matt. I don't know if that's a good thing. Or I don't know if that's a bad thing. You got 5 points for your bench boost. Look, things like bench boost and things like triple captain and things like free hit, they're punt. right? You can get, from a triple captain, I got Salah, he played twice and he blanked twice, got nothing. Last year, I played it in game week 1 for Salah when he got like 2 goals against Norwich. Fantastic. It's bang or bust, right? I might do a bench boost for my 3 Leeds players, and just like against Brighton, they get beat, nothing happens, and I'm sat here with 6 points on a bench boost. Or Bamford gets a brace, Rafinha gets a hat-trick, Areola plays twice and keeps 2 clean sheets, Dallas gets a goal, and I'm looking at 80 points on a bench boost. But so ripping up a team or doing, making other decisions just because of a bench boost is wrong in my opinion. The wild card is the most powerful chip. It's the most powerful thing that you possess in the game. Using that just so you can have 15 playing players twice, you can have a monster score. That is true. But you have to remember that this is a season-long game, and if you are making a decision for one game week, and it is about the total points, but if you have a great 125 point game week, but then you're stuck with a team that gets you 40 or 50 points after that, whereas the people who don't do that get maybe 90 points when you get that monster haul, but then get 70, 80, 70, 60, 70, 70, 60. It seems that is just not the best thing. Who do you think is the best striker to bring in right now? Bamford. Ages ago, you said that 14 points from bench boost is the aim. You got 11 when you used it, considering the 14 point thing. It just means that it's, especially because most people do it in a double game week, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. If you bench boost a double game week with a full squad of double game week players, 16 should be hopefully the minimum in that situation, because you've got 4 people playing twice. And that's with them all blanking. Hey, Bruno, welcome back, buddy. In a normal single game week, I would say 14 is a good aim. Take a hit next week to swap Rafinha back to Grealish. I think we need 3 Villa to the end of the season. But maybe not the end of the season, Chris, but I think there'll be 1 or 2. There's too many difficult games coming up. I agree with getting Rafinha back to Grealish next week. But I've already said, when I play my wild card probably in game week 30 or 31, I'm probably going to go Villaless. I've already said my plan is probably I will get rid of Stones, and with a heavy heart, I'll get rid of Martinez and probably bring Edison in from game week 30. But we'll have to see about that. I'm probably going to keep Areola and have 2 playing goalkeepers, though. Because knowing City, if I bring Edison in, he's going to get rotated out. Is Bamford a safe triple captain? Salah and other premium players may rotate. James, I do not disagree. A couple of games ago, I would have said a triple captaincy against Wolves and Southampton would have been fantastic, because Wolves were looking pretty poor and Southampton had just been smashed a couple of times, right, by United, and then I can't remember who beat him the game week after that. It would have looked fantastic. I don't think a triple captain against Bamford is a terrible thing. I've already said triple captain and a bench boost, particularly triple captain, it's just a punt. People just did a triple captaincy for Gundogan. He only played once, and he still got 57 points for them. So, yeah. Hopefully the fixtures will come out for you guys with wild cards. I don't want to, do you dirty and, hope it comes out after the deadline and then everyone's double game week plans are screwed up, because that's something that's out of your control. But I will say that it was in your control to press that wild card button without knowing the fixtures for sure. So took a -4, brought in Rafinha and Bamford for Brewster and Gundogan. I'm thinking I'm just going to take the punt on Rafinha as captain. Why not? I just don't want to be in that horrible situation of Bamford scoring and me just not being happy about it because of effective ownership. That's the killer for me. I want to be able to watch Leeds and be really happy when Bamford scores and be really happy when Rafinha scores. That's the thing. Rather than watching Leeds and watch Bamford score and think, oh no. And then watch Rafinha score and go, yeah. And then Bamford scores a second, I'm like, oh no. So I think that's for my own happiness, even though the chance of me rising up the ranks is lower. Just for my general happiness, I think a Bamford captaincy is the best choice. It could change. But I mean, if Rafinha goes out there and he smashes it out of the park and he gets 3 goals in 2 games, Bamford gets 1 goal, I'll still be really happy with my Rafinha points because he's less than 8% owned. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Bamford, the big C. And that'll be it for me. Okay, guys, good luck for this game week. I'm going to head off now. No more transfers to make. Already made a -4. I'm going to wait for the press conferences because if Calvert-Lewin is ruled out or something's a bit not clear, then Watkins is probably going to come in. But I'm just going to have to wait to see what people say about that. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me today, guys. I'll see you for the big double game week next Friday. It's still not updated here, you can see, so we don't know what is quite going to happen, but let's just wait and see. All right, guys, thanks for coming in today. Maybe leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and I'll catch you all soon. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.